Hello everyone, thank you for joining us and giving us your time. Today's webinar we're going to be covering the most important ways that live blood analysis can help you and your clients. Dr. Ocker, your course tutor, will be showing some of the huge benefits of adding live blood analysis to your practice and answering your questions. So if you do have questions, please put them in the questions box and I'll be keeping my eye on that, and I'll endeavour to answer them throughout, or if not, we'll answer them at the end. So just for those of you who are not familiar with live blood analysis is also known as live blood cell analysis, nutritional microscopy, and the oxidative stress test. Live blood analysis is the observation of live blood cells using a high-powered specialized microscope that projects the picture of the live blood cells onto a screen, which is seen by the practitioner and the client together. A tiny pinprick of blood is put onto a glass slide, and then this is what's viewed on the screen. In live blood analysis, the blood is not dried or stained beforehand, as in medical blood tests. So the blood elements can be seen in their living state, very similar or very much as the live blood actually in the system. The practitioner and the client look at the variations in the size, the shape, the ratio, and the structure of the red blood cells, white blood cells, the platelets, and the other blood structures, as well as the plasma, which is what the red blood cells are floating or suspended in. So the insights gained from live blood analysis, correlated with other clinical data, enable the analyst to understand his/her client's individual state of health on a much deeper level. So I'm going to hand over to Dr. Ocker now, where Dr. Ocker, could you please show us the ways that live blood analysis can really help practitioners and their clients?
All right, absolutely. Thank you, Elizabeth, and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us. So, live blood analysis is probably one of the most beneficial tools or tests or techniques to add to your practice. As a practitioner, it's probably one of the most useful things that you can add as an additional type of technique to your practice. So what we've done is we've looked at the most important needs of a natural health practitioner, the needs that they have in practice when dealing with their clients on the one hand, and we looked at the needs of the client when they're coming to see you, what their needs are for you to fulfill in your practice. So let's start with the needs of the practitioner. So firstly, very importantly, what is the underlying cause or causes for my client's condition? Now this is really important. We are looking at the underlying causes here. In natural medicine, we tend to set the bar quite high for ourselves, because we really want to identify the reason behind a client's condition. For most of us, the list of so-called diseases that the client has been diagnosed with are often just symptoms, and we want to understand why those conditions actually developed in the first place. And for that, we need to be able to really look at quite a deep level and get a really very deep and fundamental understanding of the client's state of health. And this is what is probably one of the most important things for a natural health practitioner, to be able to do this effectively and accurately. Secondly, what should be done about them? So once we've identified these underlying imbalances, how do we go about correcting them? The third point is, how do I convince my client to follow my instructions? This is something that we as natural health practitioners often struggle with, because it's, again, a case of in natural medicine where we don't simply give a medication and tell the client that they can continue eating whatever they like, and they can continue with their diet and lifestyle that they have been following up to this point. In natural medicine, we often recommend really drastic and fundamental changes to a person's diet and lifestyle, and for people it's often really difficult to do.
It can be a bit radical, can't it?
It really can, and for people to actually understand the importance of making those changes and to stick with them is really quite difficult, and often it's a case of just another practitioner telling them to make these changes, and they're not really convinced. So as practitioners, we really need to be able to show people objectively really evidence for the need to make these changes. Right, and then fourthly, how do I keep them motivated or compliant until they're better? And again, for natural practitioners, often we struggle with patients or clients coming in for one appointment. They come to see once, and often we don't see them again for follow-up. It may be because they have unrealistic expectations of natural medicine, and that they think that you know, the condition will miraculously clear up after the first months of treatment. And even those, as natural practitioners, we often explain to people that things may take a little bit longer than just 1 month to really clear up properly, and that they need to come back. The reality in practice is that a lot of clients simply don't. So it's really important for practitioners to have some sort of way to keep people motivated and also compliant to the actual protocols until they reach a point where their condition is improved. All right, and then lastly, under the needs of the practitioner, how do I monitor the effectiveness of treatment? Because we're working with very subtle imbalances in the system, imbalances where there's no real other conventional test to monitor whether things are moving in the right direction. It's really important for us as practitioners to be able to monitor and see whether the treatment is actually working and whether our clients are moving in the correct or in the direction towards a better state of health. Going on to the needs of the client then, well, for clients really the most important thing, the primary thing that they're concerned with is, why am I unwell? That's really, for most clients, that's actually all they want to know, is why they are unwell. Secondly, what do I need to do to feel better? And then thirdly, how do I prevent it from happening again? So once these conditions or symptoms have improved, what can I do to prevent these symptoms from coming back? And then fourthly, what can my practitioner do to help me stay motivated and accountable? So that's very similar to the fourth point under the needs of the practitioner, but for clients, it's also very important to be able to stay motivated and to stick to those changes, even though it may be very difficult for them initially. And lastly, how do I know that the treatment is working before I start feeling better? Now, often, especially in chronic cases, things would start improving in the background before clients would really feel any improvement. So it's really very valuable if we're able to show them that you know, even though they might not be feeling better yet, there are really fundamental and positive changes taking place in the background. Now, all of these needs, both the needs of the practitioner and of the client, is actually covered by live blood analysis, and it's actually very uniquely suited to cover all these conditions. So we'll be looking at this in more detail now as well. Are there any questions so far, Elizabeth?
Any questions, please put them in the box. Not as yet, so thank you very much for that. Please continue.
All right, so let's just have a look at a few other important benefits of live blood analysis. We touched on a lot of these already in this description that we've just covered. But live blood analysis, one of the very important benefits is that it helps the practitioner to confirm and better detect imbalances and health issues. So we mentioned that it is a technique used by many natural health practitioners to assess the health of their clients and to identify a number of underlying imbalances that may be contributing and are often the underlying cause to their client's state of health. Now, in live blood analysis, we collect, it's a fairly simple procedure. We collect a drop of blood from the client's finger. It's a little pinprick on the finger, and we look at the blood then immediately while the client is still there. So it's quite an interactive type of process. And because the blood is still alive, we're able to see the cells behave exactly like they do in the body. Because nothing is really added to the blood, we can assess the arrangement, the shape and the size, and the overall health of the blood cells, and we look for indications of imbalances in the body. Now, most people know that the blood is extremely important. It has actually been called the river of life because it supplies oxygen and vital nutrients to all the cells and also removes wastes from the cells. So it stands to reason that if the blood is unhealthy, that the cells will be unhealthy. And then also, if we can improve the condition of the blood, then the overall state of health of a person would improve as well. So this is exactly what live blood analysis allows us to do. We can identify the most important issues that need to be addressed to improve the client's state of health. Live blood analysis just makes your job as a practitioner so much easier because it can identify the most important imbalances with visual confirmation and support. And this also helps you to choose the best treatment options for the underlying imbalance. So live blood analysis value then lies in its ability to highlight imbalances that can be addressed by changes in diet, lifestyle, specific supplementations, and also some specific natural health products. Now, these interventions then provide the body with what it needs to be able to heal itself. All right, and then secondly, live blood analysis helps you to decide the best course of treatment. Live blood analysis gives a much clearer picture of health and of the possible imbalances that are causing the health issues. Seeing so much more of the picture results in the ability to choose a more effective treatment for your clients. Live blood analysis helps with decision making and deciding on treatment, as well as confirming, clarifying, supporting, and backing up your diagnosis. Now, with live blood analysis, you're able to monitor the results of any given treatment. So this is also a really valuable benefit for practitioners. With live blood analysis, we can monitor and track the person's progress during treatment, and this is often very difficult to do in a natural health setting. By assessing the changes taking place after implementing specific treatment protocols, we can establish whether a specific protocol is actually working or not, and make the necessary adjustments at a much earlier stage than what would have been possible without the blood analysis view. Now, in the natural health field, there are so many different products available, so many different diets and opinions and protocols that it can be quite a challenge to work out exactly what needs to be done for each and every client that you see in practice. People often end up going from practitioner to practitioner and getting various diagnoses that they have candida, or this parasite or virus, or that specific deficiency, and often they have no real way of knowing if the treatment that they're taking had any, or is having any effect on the condition. So it just makes your job as a practitioner so much easier because it identifies the most important imbalances and then allows you to check if the treatment is actually working. Another great advantage of live blood analysis is that it gives you a very unique and powerful edge. As I mentioned, it is quite an interactive type of test or technique, so it creates a different type of dynamic in your practice, and it gives you a unique edge to offer to your clients. Nothing is really as effective as looking at your own blood cells on the screen in front of you with a certified practitioner pointing out what to look for. It's a very powerful experience visually and results in very impressed and satisfied clients. It promotes client participation, making them want to return for the experience and to visually also monitor the progress in their blood pictures. As well as the visual impact of live blood analysis inspiring clients to want to return regularly, they will also be sending you lots of referrals for this experience. All right, and then another benefit that we need to mention here as well is that it has a very unique ability to show issues not yet manifested with symptoms. Now, live blood analysis can show the potential for specific conditions before they develop in the future. By addressing these imbalances at an early stage, they can still be corrected fairly easily by simple dietary and lifestyle changes, and we can actually prevent these conditions then from developing any further. So this makes live blood analysis a very useful and powerful tool in prevention. So it's really valuable for people who want to be more proactive about their health. Perhaps one of the most important benefits of live blood analysis is the impact that it has on a client. People can actually get quite anxious about what they find in their blood. Now, I've not really come across any other test that has this same type of effect on people, the same type of visual impact. Even conventional laboratory tests don't seem to have such a dramatic impact. We often see clients who come in for an analysis who actually had a normal laboratory test done previously but showed some abnormality like a raised cholesterol level, and often the clients don't really take it seriously enough, and they say that their doctor thinks it might be a problem. And those very same clients react very differently when they see what their blood looks like. It's often the wake-up call that they need to actually start working on their health. So this visual impact, it has actually goes a long way towards helping your clients to stay compliant during the treatment and also to come back for their follow-up visits because they are motivated. They want to see for themselves that their blood cells or that their blood is looking better. Right, so are there any questions at all, Elizabeth?
Thank you very much for that. That's very interesting. Yes, we do have a few questions. Do I need a medical background to practice live blood analysis?
Well, no, you don't. There are no formal regulations about live blood analysis, so in essence, anyone can add it to their practice. It's not actually meant as a medical tool, so a medical practitioner would actually not really know how to utilize live blood analysis because we're looking at the blood from a completely different perspective, from a naturopathic or nutritional perspective rather than a medical perspective. It's important to say here that it is a tool used in a natural health setting, so it really is ideally suited for practitioners involved in any form of natural health, nutritionists, herbalists, personal fitness trainers and so on. And it's used to detect imbalances that can be corrected through nutrition, natural products and interventions. So the more knowledge that the practitioner has of nutrition and health, the more they and their client would benefit from live blood analysis.
Thank you. Do I need a phlebotomy course to draw blood?
No, this is also not necessary in all the countries that we looked at the specific regulations on drawing blood. Pricking of the finger with a lancet, where capillary blood is drawn from the fingertip, is not. There's no specific regulation that would require a phlebotomy type of qualification to be able to do that. It's only really when you pierce a vein to draw venous blood with a needle and a syringe where a phlebotomy type of qualification is required.
So this doesn't include the drawing of blood, does it?
Absolutely, it doesn't fall within that type of scope.
Yes. Okay. And can I get insurance cover when I do the course?
Well, yes, look, our course is actually the most comprehensive course on the subject of live blood analysis. So all the information that you really need to be able to look at blood and understand what you're seeing, and to utilize this technique to its full potential, all that information is provided in the course. In terms of practicing, it is recommended that you register with a type of association, and there may be regulations about specific practices in different countries, but the course will certainly provide you with all the information that you need to be able to use this technique properly.
Okay, thank you. And the course is well recognized by insurance companies all around the world. And we suggest in the UK, for example, to join the Complementary Medical Association or the CTHA, the CMA or the CTHA, because that way they offer you very good discounts on your insurance, so about half price. So you get membership and your insurance for about half price, which pays for the membership. So we recommend that you look at your complementary medical associations in your own country for that. And the next question is, does the course cover treatment?
Yes, absolutely. It does cover treatment. We have specific protocols described under each of the anomalies in the manual. So each of the anomalies of the blood cells and so on that you can identify. There's specific herbal and nutritional and naturopathic protocols described there. We also have a separate chapter on remedial measures with specific herbal and natural formulations that are described there in detail. And also very importantly, under each of the anomalies we have very specific dietary and lifestyle changes that would help to address that specific anomaly.
And do you do a live blood analysis test on every client who comes to see you?
Oh yes, absolutely, I do. I really can't imagine not using live blood analysis in practice, because it helps to guide me so much in my practice. There really is no other test that can compare with live blood analysis in its ability to detect the most important health challenges that any particular client may have, as well as being able to monitor how the condition improves with treatment. Conditions that used to present quite a challenge for me in practice before have actually become very easy to deal with, because I can see exactly where the focus of imbalance is with the client, instead of relying on only the symptoms and what we can probably refer to as crude laboratory tests, and of course, and a bit of luck probably as well. Before using live blood analysis, I often found myself second guessing my decisions in terms of treatment, wondering if there was perhaps something in the case that I may have overlooked. But with live blood analysis, because we're scanning the sample for any visible anomalies, instead of choosing what specific tests to do on a form, there's really very little risk of not finding the most relevant abnormalities. I've seen it work so many times, so consistently in practice, and I've seen it help people who have tried nearly every other type of test, that I feel that if I don't do it with every client, then I'm likely to miss the boat with them completely.
Right, absolutely. And what's the best way to get started? Where can we find out more about the course? So, you can find out more about the course, the training course, the course outline, how to enroll, what the course includes, what you'll be getting. Everything's on the website there at www.livebloodonline.com. And also, if you have any questions, then please email us at info@livebloodonline.com. online.com any questions that you have. We'll be very happy to answer them. And you can also get an information pack by going to the website, so you'll be able to get all the information that you need about the course. We do have a new course starting next Tuesday, the 27th, so if you are thinking of taking the course, then please, get in touch with us as soon as possible. So just to confirm the 5 main points about the benefits of live blood analysis, Dr. Ocker, was number 1, it helps you confirm and better detect imbalances and health issues. Number 2, helps you decide the best course of treatment. Number 3, helps you to be able to monitor the results of any treatment. Number 4, live blood analysis gives you a very unique and powerful edge. And number 5, live blood analysis can show issues not yet manifested with symptoms, and so consequently is very preventative. So do you have anything to add to that, Dr. Ocker?
Well, just perhaps that I hope that we've been able to convey how much of an impact this type of test would have in practice. It's probably the most valuable thing to add to your practice, and I've certainly seen it from the time that I started using live blood analysis in my practice, the type of changes that I started to see in my patients and in my practice as a whole. It was really quite phenomenal, and it's the similar type of effect that we've seen with other practitioners that have decided to incorporate this in their practices as well.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very, very much for that, and thank you all very much for joining us. I hope that's been interesting, and please get in touch with us if you need to know more. So it's goodbye from me, thank you very much, and goodbye from Dr. Ocker, thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.